Man, I never figured I'd be spilling my guts online like this, looking for advice from strangers. But I'm not ready to loop in my buddies or family just yet. Let me start with a heads up. Always keep an eye out for red flags, no matter how small they seem. Life can throw you some wild curveballs, and sometimes you can't sort through the mess alone. This is my tale of betrayal, lies, and how my 12-year marriage crashed and burned. I tied the knot with my wife fresh out of college. We were young, head over heels, and pumped to conquer the world as a team. For a long stretch, things were solid. We both busted our butts, me at a tech gig, her clawed her way up at a fast food chain until she landed a regional manager spot. We scraped together enough to buy a modest little house in California. Nothing flashy, just ours. We tried for kids early on, but her medical issues made a no-go. That hit us hard, especially her, and it stung like hell, but I thought we powered through. Our marriage wasn't perfect. Whose is? We had our groove, our dumb inside jokes, our go-to-TV shows. Normal couple stuff, you know? Then, about 9 months back, the tech industry tanked, and I got laid off. Just a business move. They said, nothing personal. Still felt like a kick in the teeth. My wife put on this fake supportive act at first. Oh, don't stress, honey, dripping with sarcasm, like I was some loser she had to babysit. She'd smirk and say her regional manager job was rock solid, and she'd just pick up extra hours to cover us while I hunted for work. I was grateful, hitting the job boards hard, sending resumes, and landing a few interviews. The market was brutal, but I stayed hopeful. About a month into my unemployment, I started noticing weird stuff with her. Little things at first. She'd come home crazy late, midnight, sometimes later, claiming staffing drama at her restaurants. It sounded legit. She was a big boss, after all. She'd drag herself in, exhausted, snapped that she'd already eaten, shower, and crash. I tried to be the good guy, even though being jobless made me feel like garbage. I took over cooking and cleaning, trying to pull my weight. But then I checked her paycheck, and those extra hours she was supposedly grinding, nowhere to be found. When I brought up, she practically ripped my head off, sneering. What? You think I'm lying, Mr. Unemployed Genius? The overtime's coming next pay period, or it's comp time I'll use later. Stop playing detective. Always some snarky excuse. I kept checking her pay stubs after that, and surprise, still no overtime. Around then, I started feeling this weird burning when I used the bathroom. Thought it was just stress or maybe too many tacos. But it got worse. Since I still had health insurance through her job, I booked a doctor's visit, figuring I was overdue for a checkup anyway. The doc did the usual poke and prod, and when I mentioned the burning, they ran tests. 2 days later, they called me back in. The doctor looked like he'd rather be anywhere else when he said, "Look, there's no easy way to say this. You've got chlamydia." My brain just froze. An STD? No way. I hadn't touched anyone but my wife in over 12 years. How the hell does that happen? He explained it was treatable with antibiotics, but said I had to tell my wife, so she could get checked too. I just nodded, grabbed prescription, and stumbled out in a fog. Driving home, my mind was spinning, trying to make sense of something that didn't add up. There was only one explanation, but I didn't want to believe it. My wife, after 12 years cheating, while I was down and out, no way she'd stoop that low. I got home and sat in the driveway for like an hour, wrestling with what to do. Confront her? Follow her? I decided I needed hard proof before saying a word. That night, when she strolled in late, I played the clueless, supportive husband, asked about her day, made small talk while she barely looked up from her phone, muttering about being so tired, before crashing early. I lay there in bed, listening to her breathe, wondering if she was dreaming about whoever gave her, and me, this damn STD. Next morning, while she was in the bathroom slathering on makeup, I tried checking her phone. Guess what? After 12 years, she'd changed her passcode. Suddenly, she needed privacy. That was a gut punch. So I decided to tail her. Normally, I'd be job hunting, so she wouldn't suspect a thing. I waited 15 minutes after she left. then drove to one of the restaurants she said she was inspecting all day. Her car was parked at the restaurant, but that didn't mean much since she oversaw multiple spots. I parked across the street, out of sight, and waited. Felt like an idiot sitting there for hours, but around 5:45 p.m., her car pulled out. I followed, keeping my distance, expecting her to hit another location. Nope. She drove to some fancy new subdivision 15 minutes away. My gut twisted as she pulled into a driveway and strutted up to the house like she owned the place. No hesitation, no glancing around, just a quick knock, like she'd done it a million times. Maybe she had. I sat there, feeling like I might puke, debating whether to barge in or wait. I waited. A few seconds later, a guy opened the door. Average height, bit of a gut, balding. Not what I pictured. She kissed him right there before slipping inside. My hands were shaking so bad, I could barely snap photos with my phone, but they were clear enough to burn the truth into my brain. I didn't follow her home. I just drove around for hours, tried to wrap my head around it all. The fake overtime, the STD, the house, the guy she kissed, 12 years of marriage, and this is where we landed. When I finally got home, she was in full-on fake concern mode, smirking. Oh, where's my big, strong, unemployed hero been? I was so worried. I played it off, but inside, I was done. I started quietly planning my next move, keeping it cool while I figure out how to drop the divorce bomb and make sure she'd regret every lie she told. I paused for a second before answering her snarky, "Where have you been, hero?" Jab. I just shrugged and said I was out job hunting, biting my tongue to keep from unloading everything. I didn't confront her that night, or even the next day. I needed time to think, to map out my next move. California's a no-fault divorce state, so her cheating wouldn't sway the courts, but I wasn't about to be reckless. I didn't have cash for a private investigator. Didn't need one anyway. Those shaky photos of her kissing that guy were proof enough. For the next week, I played the part of the oblivious husband, acting like nothing was wrong while I dug into divorce laws online. I quietly moved important papers, tax returns, IDs, you name it, to a safe spot and backed up everything on a secure USB drive, far from our shared computer. I opened a new bank account at a different bank, siphoning off just enough cash to scrape by without her noticing. Oh, and I started those antibiotics for the STD she so kindly gifted me. I didn't breathe a word to her about it. Let her figure out when she finally drags herself to a doctor. I tracked down a lawyer offering free consultations and laid it all out, showing the photos of her little driveway makeout session. He confirmed what I'd read. In California, her affair wouldn't affect how we split assets. But since I was unemployed and she was raking away more as a regional manager, I might qualify for spousal support, temporary alimony. At first, the idea made my stomach churn. I didn't want a dime of her dirty money. But then I thought about her lies, the STD, and her sneering at me while I was scrubbing dishes and sending out resumes, still loyal as ever. Yeah, she owed me. The lawyer helped me file the paperwork, and when it was ready, I had her served with divorce papers right at her precious workplace. Petty? Sure. But after she put my health at risk with her cheating, I figured a little public humiliation was fair play. I wasn't home when the papers hit her desk. I've been crashing at a buddy's place for 2 days since filing. My phone lit up with her texts and calls, each one angrier than the last. I ignored them all until I finally shot back one message. "You know why?" Her reply? A nasty, "What?" Still whining about my overtime. Real mature, tailing me like some wannabe cop. No apology, no shame, just pure venom for getting caught. That told me everything about where our marriage stood. The divorce went faster than I expected. She didn't fight it. Probably just wanted to wash her hand to me and move on to her balding boyfriend. The judge hit her with $675 a month in alimony for 3 years. Not a jackpot, but enough to keep me afloat while I rebuilt. Her face when the ruling came down? Priceless. Guess she never bothered to Google divorce laws. We sold the house and split the cash. I found a cheap apartment, Nothing fancy, but it was mine. Those first few months were rough. I'd wake up from nightmares about tailing her car, or catch myself grabbing her favorite snacks at the store out of habit. Old routines die slow. The job hunt dragged on. But about 8 months after the divorce was final, I scored an entry-level gig. Less pay than my old tech job, but it was a fresh start. Sometimes I wonder if I should have called her out before filing, given her a chance to spin some excuse. But what could she say? Sorry for the lies and the STD, honey. Some betrayals you can't talk your way out of. Those alimony checks still roll in every month. Each one a little jab reminding me of her betrayal. Part of me wants to tell her to stop sending them now that I'm working again. But then I remember the antibiotics, the doctor's awkward stare, the nights I spent wondering how I screwed up to deserve this. So, yeah, I cashed them. Call it payback for the pain and embarrassment. I haven't jumped back into dating much. Trust is hard to rebuild after a knife like that in your back. But I'm getting there. I've been hitting the gym, feeling stronger, and picked up bowling again, something I used to love. I'm piecing together a new life, one day at a time. If there's a takeaway from this mess, it's that you never really know someone, even after 12 years. Or maybe it's simpler. Always check the paycheck for those overtime hours. Could save you a doctor's visit. I'm doing all right now. Better than all right some days. Life keeps moving, even after lies, STDs, and divorce papers. And you know what? I'm starting to be glad it does. One day, I'll open my heart again, find someone real who won't stab me in the back. Until then, I'm just living one alimony check at a time.